Mississippi troopers, NBI agents. You were supposed to be the elite. Instead, you became enforcers for the corrupt. No justice, no integrity, no names, no shame. Let's talk about it.
Yo, money, you a coward with a badge and a pen. Fabricated lies, then you did it all again. 2022, yeah, I remember that day. You framed me blindfolded, just walked in and said, okay, no probable cause, no facts, no proof. Just a lazy ass lie in a courtroom booth. You ain't no lieutenant, more like a pawn. Controlled by a system that's broken and gone. Where you both are just dumb, take your pick, it's a toss. Either way, you dirty and I'm done with the gloss. NBI, more like men ball instantly. I see straight through your fraudulence vividly. You swore an oath, but you spit on that creed. Now the truth's on the mic and I'm watching y'all bleed. Like a badge of dishonor. Name them, shame them, lying in court while the state keep praising. Protect and serve, not protect and lie. Time to expose them, trooper by NBI. Trooper by NBI. Trooper by NBI. Badge of dishonor, name them, shame them, lying in court while the state keep praising. Protect and serve, not protect and lie. Time to expose them, trooper by NBI. Dixon, you a liar, you know it's a fact. Lafayette bred thug in a state trooper's hat. Caught me on camera, assaulted me bold, then lied under oath while the courtroom cold. The judge looked on like it's all routine, like beating up a journalist ain't obscene. But I had that audio proof in my hand. You thought you escaped free like the Ku Klux Klan. You moved on up to the NBI ranks. Same coward in uniform, just change your tanks. A badge don't redeem you, just sharpens the sin. You still a thug in the shell of a man within. You ain't fit to serve, you ain't earned that gear. So I'm dropping this verse like a brick of fear. Your name etched in shame and the truth I trust, and your oath ain't worth the grime in my dust. Al a badge of dishonor, name them, shame them, lying in court while the state keep praising. Protect and serve, not protect and lie. Time to expose them, trooper by NBI. Trooper by NBI. Trooper by NBI. Al a badge of dishonor, name them, shame them, lying in court while the state keep praising. Protect and serve, not protect and lie. Time to expose them, trooper by NBI. Now let's talk about the thug in disguise. Beat me down on the sidewalk right before my eyes. Outside Reed's mansion with the cameras rolling. You crack me in silence like your soul's been stolen. Unidentified, that's the game y'all play. No name, no badge, no price to pay. But I'm the press and I don't go quiet. You started a war, now I'm leading the riot. Governor complicit, Tyndale gon' ghost. Covering for cowards like you coast to coast. I got one law for them and one for us. But your empire's built on betrayal and dust. This ain't just rap, it's a call to action. Expose every lie, every crooked faction. That badge is burning with every bar. I'm the voice of the people and I'm raising the scar. And the badge of dishonor, name them, shame them, lying in court while the state keep praising. Protect and serve, not protect and lie. Truth gon' march, it corrupt gon' die. And the badge of dishonor, name them, shame them, lying in court while the state keep praising. Protect and serve, not protect and lie. Truth gon' march, it corrupt gon' die. Sean Tyndale, you let the trash take the wheel. Joey Marnie, Courtney Dixon, and a faceless trooper. Not forgotten, not forgiven. We the people see you, and we're not backing down. And we're not backing down. And we're not backing down. Trooper by NBI. Trooper by NBI.
Yeah, all this is we the people's property. Now, inside of that gate, huh?
You go call the street with that sign and all that, okay?
Well, no, I'm fine right here.
No, you're not fine.
How am I not?
Because I said you're not.
I'm on the sidewalk.
No. Yeah, one more time.
I'm on the...
Get your stuff. They go the fuck across the street. You understand me?
Is it under threat of arrest?
Now you're on the threat of arrest. The fuck ain't around here, man.
Do you know what the First Amendment is?
I don't give a fuck with the
What's your name? What's your name? What's your name and badge number? Tyrant? What's your name and badge number? I have a First Amendment right to be on the sidewalk. I'm on the fucking sidewalk. I'm on the fucking sidewalk. Do something about it.
Hey man, get your shit. Go.
Hey, you're gonna get away from me. You gonna get away from me. Put your hands on me.
Get the fuck on before I knock you.
Oh!
Fuck on, man.
Whoa!
Fuck on with you.
Hey,
We tell you that, man.
let's de-escalate.
Fuck you think they gonna play with you, man?
Hey,
Fuck.
Nigga. Go back in.
That's it. I want charges placed on him. I want charges on him. I want charges on him now. I want charges on him now. I want charges on him now.
Hey.
I want charges on him now. Up.
We gonna sit your ass.
just back off.
There's something seriously wrong with you.
Hey, back off.
What the fuck are you gonna do about it? What are you doing to him? He doesn't need to even be here anymore. Send his ass home.
Not approach me from the rear. You understand me?
After that right there,
Stay face where I can.
I'm standing where I can stand at.
I'm telling you, do not
I'm
walk
standing
behind
where I
me.
can
That is
stand
fine.
at.
Do not come this way again, okay?
It's your fucking ass. Hey, I want his name and badge number. What's his name? I need name and badge numbers of all y'all. Name and badge number. Name and badge number. Name and badge number.
My supervisor just asked you to step away from
Name and badge number.
You asked for a supervisor, we gave you one.
Hey, I need a name and badge number. I need a name and badge number.
Back off.
Name and
Back
badge
off.
number.
Back off. Back off. White. Now back
White?
off. That's the color. White. Now back off.
On the webpage of We the People News, www.wtpnews.org. I want to show you, this is a phenomenal tool that's going to be a huge asset for a lot of people. So if you go to the website, let me turn off this for now. Actually, I want to leave that up there. And let's see. That there, and take that off. All right, so if you go to the website, wtpnews.org, here at the top, you'll see the menu button. You click that menu. All right, it's going to give you a drop down. If you're on your phone, if you're on a computer, just go across the top. You're going to click on Constitutional Rights Legal Research Tool. All right. I've been working around the clock on this over the last few days, and it's finally up and working beautifully. So you're going to be able to select any state off of this drop-down menu, and it's going to give you a complete rundown of basically all the stuff that matters when it comes to your constitutional rights in that state. Me, I chose Mississippi. That's where all of this corruption has happened. And lo and behold, you'll find out just from looking at that list, and you go through there and look at the different states, Mississippi is by far the most corrupt. It's got the broadest application favoring officers for qualified immunity. Very low success rate on 1983 cases. All right. So no stop and identify law on the statute. You got the constitutional challenge strategies. There isn't really much in Mississippi. Then you go down and it's got the First Amendment landmark analysis, Mississippi burning cases. So each state will have their own key cases listed, what that does and how that can help you. Tactical response framework, what to ask an officer if he says this, what to ask. Specific strategies for the circuit that you are in, and the immediate response protocol. Step 1, 2, 3, and 4. Always refuse identification unless under arrest. Assert your Fourth Amendment protections. State I do not consent to any search. And, of course, ask, are you being detained or am I free to leave? He has to articulate that. And the immediate response protocol. Let's see. before, always refuse.
What's up, guys?
identification,
What's up?
unless under
It's really
arrest,
me.
certain
It's
enforcement
I'm live this
protections,
time.
State I do not
I had
consent
to
the search.
hold on a second.
And
Yeah, some of these things they need to be repeated. Okay. The video about what happened outside of the governor's mansion, the incident with the atrocity with the state trooper. That shit needs to be on repeat every fucking day until something happens. Okay? I'm not gonna stop spinning that and reminding them and reminding you, okay, this shit's not okay. You're seeing more and more and more around the country of state troopers lashing out, freaking assaulting people. You got Long Island audit up in Connecticut. Alright? You think the shit's funny? I hope the shit fucking happens to you. It's that serious. Alright? You can't laugh at something like that and not expect it to happen to you. Because when you give them an inch, they take a mile. When they're allowed leeway on assaulting somebody, then all of them think they can get away with it. So, if that's funny to you, if our constitutional rights mean that little to you, then there's plenty of communist countries around the world that you can take your unhappy ass to. Ran over. I'm just sick and tired of seeing the trolls and the bootlickers, and I'm sure there's probably quite a lot of them in this chat right now. But that needed to be said. Yeah, I kind of want to have a discussion. I would like to have a discussion, and in fact, I'm going to throw, let's see, join a room, boom. Copy. I'm not really sure how to do it from this app. I thought I could do it. In fact, there are quite a few people on here right now. How about I don't know if I can do this from Zoom. Pull up Zoom with my laptop. Now what I need to do is I need to set up a StreamYards. That's what I need to do. Let me check the chat. So what's going on out there, y'all? What's up, Popeye's Transparency? Yeah, nothing yet. I guess the only news that I have is I've got a demand letter that I'm gonna go ahead and send out. You know, the troopers' actions, I mean, it fucked my gimbal up. My phone constantly overheats. Is what a terrorist act. Phone constantly overheats now after the trooper stepped on this shit. Say one fucking thing out of line, Juno. I dare you. I'm not, I mean, you trolls that think it's funny, I'm gonna throw whatever in there. I'm gonna block your shit, block it, block it, block it, block it, block it. I don't care. You can sit on there and make sock accounts all fucking night. I'm gonna be the one laughing. That's what's funny to me. You think it's funny getting on here to troll? I'm having a blast. Just one click, throw your ass off the stream. Let's see. What about Epstein? I wouldn't be surprised if Governor Reeves' name is on the Epstein list. The way he's covering shit up over here in Mississippi, you're seeing more and more people's names on the Epstein dossier. Okay. shit's fucked up. I don't, you know, there's a lot of screwed up shit going on. I'll say this. Back in 2017, or, well, the last time Trump was in office, the last term, I was a huge Trump fan. MAGA all the way. All the way. Thought he was good for the, thought he was going to be good for the economy and, you know, having a business guy. Hey, I got to looking at everything, all right? Every bit of this public corruption that's happened to me, the weaponization in Mississippi, it all happened mainly like during the Trump administration last time. But in fact, everything that's happened has happened from 2017. And I know that's not Trump's fault, and I don't blame Trump directly for that. But I'll tell you what, his administration sure has stood down. You know, I've reached out to the DOJ. I've you know, the people that have oversight over this, over state officials that have run amok, haven't done shit. Okay. I mean, I was raised Republican. My parents are Republican. The Republican Party turned their back on me and said, fuck you. So how can I support a party that basically let me fall and said, fuck you? So I'm independent. There's no way I could identify as a Democrat. I can't identify with people that turned their own back on me and said, fuck you. So I ride my own lane. That's what I do. Okay? I'm constitutionalist. Let's see. What about the list? I don't know. I mean, honestly, who's to say who all is on the list? I'm sure the list is pretty damn long. But I'm also sure that there's several lists. There's several Epsteins. You know, he's not the only one. He is not the only one that organized, you know, child molestation rings and, you know, that shit goes on all the time. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes. Let's see. Yeah, I wish I could bring up might bring some people onto a panel. I'm gonna have to do that with StreamYards next time. Let's see. This dude has a Biden bumper sticker for sure. I'm gonna tell you right now, publicly, fuck Joe Biden. I'm gonna tell you publicly, right now, on this live stream, fuck Democrats. I'll say it publicly on this live stream right now. Fuck Republicans. Here's the thing, Republican, Democrat, it really honestly doesn't matter who gets elected and who gets put into the White House, because ultimately their puppet strings are getting pulled by somebody a lot higher up. That's really the God's honest truth to it. So, no, you'll never see a fucking Biden sticker on my car. You'll never see any political stickers on my car. And just for saying that, you're gone. Let's see. Michael, you're gone. That's the thing. It's my private channel. I don't have to put up with anybody's bullshit here. Let's see. Rodrigo, go fuck yourself. Let's see. Hey, so for those that are on here right now, Alright, 80 people on here. Here's what I did, okay? I know y'all probably didn't hear this song. Got a new song. It's about the Mississippi State Troopers. I fucking hate the state troopers. Alright, if you're a state trooper looking on here, eat my dick, motherfucker.
Mississippi troopers. NBI agents. You were supposed to be the elite. Instead, you became enforcers for the corrupt. No justice. No integrity. No names. No shame. Let's talk about it.
Yo, money, you a coward with a badge and a pen. Fabricated lies, then you did it all again. 2022, yeah, I remember that day. You framed me blindfolded, just walked in and said, okay, no probable cause, no facts, no proof. Just a lazy ass lie in a courtroom booth. You ain't no lieutenant, more like a pawn. Controlled by a system that's broken and gone. Where you both are just dumb, take your pick, it's a toss. Either way, you dirty and I'm done with the gloss. NBI, more like men ball instantly. I see straight through your fraudulence vividly. You swore an oath, but you spit on that creed. Now the truth's on the mic and I'm watching y'all bleed. Like a badge of dishonor, name them, shame them. Lying in court while the state keep praising. Protect and serve, not protect and lie. Time to expose them. Trooper by NBI. Trooper by NBI. Trooper by NBI. Badge of dishonor, name them, shame them. Lying in court while the state keep praising. Protect and serve, not protect and lie. Time to expose them. Trooper by NBI. Trooper by NBI. Dixon, you a liar, you know it's a fact. Lafayette bred thug in a state trooper's hat. Caught me on camera, assaulted me bold, then lied under oath while the courtroom cold. The judge looked on like it's all routine, like beating up a journalist ain't obscene. But I had that audio proof in my hand. You thought you escaped free like the Ku Klux Klan. You moved on up to the NBI ranks. Same coward in uniform, just change your tanks. A badge don't redeem you, just sharpens the sin. You still a thug in the shell of a man within. You ain't fit to serve, you ain't earned that gear. So I'm dropping this verse like a brick of fear. Your name etched in shame and the truth I trust, and your oath ain't worth the grime in my dust. Al a badge of dishonor, name them, shame them. Lying in court while the state keep praising. Protect and serve, not protect and lie. Time to expose them. Trooper by NBI. Trooper by NBI. Trooper by NBI. Al a badge of dishonor, name them, shame them. Lying in court while the state keep praising. Protect and serve, not protect and lie. Time to expose them. Trooper by NBI. Now let's talk about the thug in disguise. Beat me down on the sidewalk right before my eyes. Outside Reed's mansion with the cameras rolling. You crack me in silence like your soul's been stolen. Unidentified, that's the game y'all play. No name, no badge, no price to pay. But I'm the press and I don't go quiet. You started a war, now I'm leading the riot. Governor complicit, Tyndale gon' ghost. Covering for cowards like you coast to coast. Y'all got one law for them and one for us. But your empire's built on betrayal and dust. This ain't just rap, it's a call to action. Expose every lie, every crooked faction. That badge is burning with every bar. I'm the voice of the people and I'm raising the scar. And the badge of dishonor, name them, shame them. Lying in court while the state keep praising. Protect and serve, not protect and lie. Truth gon' march, and corrupt gon' die. And the badge of dishonor, name them, shame them. Lying in court while the state keep praising. Protect and serve, not protect and lie. Truth gon' march, and corrupt gon' die. Sean Tyndale, you let the trash take the wheel. Joey Marney, Courtney Dixon, and a faceless trooper. Not forgotten, not forgiven. We the people see you, and we're not backing down. And we're not backing down. And we're not backing down. Trooper by NBI. Trooper by NBI.
What's up, what's up? I am back. So that gives me a reminder. Go to WTPnews.org. And I just reinstalled the Switcher app so I don't have my titles on here. Get them on my website, WTPnews.org. Got a great new tool that I designed. It's the Constitutional Rights Legal Research Tool. On that tool, you can select your state, or any state that you're in, or going to, or whatever, and you can learn key things, key laws, what you need to know to stay safe, whether it's a stop and identify state, what their identification laws are. It's a great resource to help keep you safe and protected. You'll learn real quickly that the 5th Circuit, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, it's the worst circuit across the country. Also on that website, you will see on the menu, Bad Actors, the album. 15-song album that's just been released, just pushed out for distribution. And I wrote each and every song on this album. Each of them. Could have sold the album. Didn't want to sell it. I wanted to push it out. I wanted to freely distribute it because I want the truth to get out there. I want my story out there. American Injustice. It's on the freaking. It's right there. All right. I'm working actually on the audio book, so whenever I release the book, I can release the audio book as well. With American Injustice, it's going to be close to a 300-page book. The ebook will be for free. I'll sell a paperback for $20. I'll sell the audio book for $15. So I've got that. I've got the book, the audio book, got the album. You know, there's different ways for however people are just wired. Some people take in things better from music. Some people take in things better from reading. Some people take in things better from listening to their books, like audiobooks. Some people learn better by watching video. Okay, so I got Riding with the Outlaw, the documentary. I've got episode 1, 2, 3, and 4, the 1-hour episodes so far. Alright. See, bootlicking comments like that right there. Matthew Pollock, here's what I'm going to do with you. Gone. Okay? What do I think about the state of Illinois? So, what you got to do is just go to WTPnews.org. Alright? I'm going there right now. Let's see. Oh shit, I didn't realize this menu was so fucked up on the computer. It's like huge. I'll adjust that. Guess I was looking at it from the adjusting the mobile size. Alright, so Illinois. Click on Illinois on the list. It's part of the 7th Circuit. Alright, hold on, let me show you this. Alright. So I selected Illinois from the list. Alright. It's part of the 7th Circuit. It's got a moderate analysis risk. Qualified immunity approach, standard. Moderate success rate on 1983 cases. Okay. You've got the legal framework, the statute for the identification law. Penalty is a Class C misdemeanor. Must provide name when lawfully detained. It's got your constitutional challenge strategy. Controlling precedents there are Terry versus Ohio and the 7th Circuit precedents. So lots of cool stuff. Lots of cool stuff there on that tool. Now, what I was going to say is here on this menu, top of the site, if you click on Bad Actors, the album, there it is right there. Okay? Each of those tells one hell of a story. One hell of a story. In fact, this is, let's see, files. I'll tell y'all what my favorite song is, and it's Unbroken. It's Unbroken. Listen to the words. If you haven't listened to the words, if you haven't listened to Unbroken yet, this is truly, it takes you through the last 8 years of just disgusting public corruption here in Mississippi. And yeah, I gotta share it with you.
They broke the chains, but I walked out free. Every scar they carved just empowered me. 2017, Lafayette's chokehold grip. Sheriff's badge turned to a power trip. Mississippi flag in my righteous hand. Public sidewalk where free citizens stand. Timmy Pruitt rolled up with manufactured rage. No permit, lies wrapped me in a cage. Asked for his badge number. Exercise my right. They cuffed me up in broad Mississippi daylight. Video went viral, whole county shook. They fired back with a felony book. False stalking charge, legal masquerade. All to indemnify the mess they made. 2018, November's bitter frost. Lizzie Crowder weaponized what mattered most. Filed false rape, turned love to a courtroom game. 2 years grinding through manufactured shame. 2020 she played out, escaped the cell. Paid her fine while my world went to hell. Support for Lydia suddenly flipped and betrayed. 4 years lost, no father-daughter serenade. No bedtime stories, no calls relayed. Just silence where our laughter used to cascade. December 2021, the storm returned. Alcorns ripped while Lafayette bridges burned. Joey East crew snatched me ice cold. No evaluation, no facts, no lawful hold. Tupelo's walls, padded bed confinement. North Miss meds clouding my mental alignment. February 22, they came once more. Alcorns fabrications walked through the door. Newborn son in the ER sacred light. They cuffed me up, stole that holy night. 7 days in solitary's concrete cave. Then East Miss pharmaceuticals to enslave. June 2020, 22, walked through the hall. Oxford City standing dignified and tall. Camera rolling, made a clerk request. Public records, constitutional quest. But they twisted it, spun their narrative line. Mayor claimed fear to blur the constitutional line. Dusted off that restraining order from 17. Weaponized fresh for a felony scene. Charged with stalking for walking through City Hall. For asking questions, for standing up tall. October 22, I fought the machine again. Marched the FBI, laid truth before federal men. Oxford office, evidence carefully laid. But Beavers and Kilpatrick sharpened their blade. November 1st, revoked my parole. November 3rd, they swallowed me whole. Kilpatrick campaign, riding on my back. Used my persecution to advance her political track. Prison walls, months carved in stone. Paid the price, stood defiant alone. August 23, Galveston, suffocating heat. Journalist on assignment, working the street. Allstein's traffic stop, perfectly staged night. False default, we had charged, no sobriety test in sight. 11 months buried, holding my breath. Extradited back to face judicial death. July 24, kangaroo court show. 2-year sentence with zero proof to show. But January 25, post-conviction win. January 22nd, I walk free again. February 1st, Utah's deceptive call. Latent ground, but predatory eyes on all. Sesams reached across state lines, spinning webs with defamatory signs. Rich and spread poison wide. Warring 39 names caught in their slanderous tide. Orrington blocked, grammar's light. Latent city officials dimmed constitutional sight. March 28th, I dialed that phone. City hall reception, cold as stone. March 31st, faced federal walls. Salt Lake City, where justice calls. They demanded ID, background inspection. I said no. Constitutional protection took my place. Circle my car, still went live, raised awareness far. But the cruelest wound that still remains, Crowder's war, these invisible chains. Lydia's voice, 4 years stolen away. No good night hugs, no Father's Day. Mother and daughter separated by lies, while I break through these court-constructed skies. Filed lawsuits, align the names. Sesam's, McCutcheon, their corruption games. Arrington Shield, Leighton's wall, Oxford's influence, spanning it all. For Lydia's future, for truth's bright flame, for everything stolen, for clearing my name. This is the anthem, the reckoning beat. Stripped of silence, back on my feet. This ain't over, this is the ascension. Next verse I drop breaks through that dimension. From Lafayette's mud to Galveston's bars, to Leighton's walls and federal scar. Yes, I'm the voice they try to silence through fear, but I'm amplified now, crystal clear. Justice calls, they demanded ID.
All right. So I want to give you a little background on this as well. All right. So that song takes you through. Well, it doesn't cover everything, okay, but it covers pretty much the major things that have happened since 2017. Then we have a more recent thing where, you know, I was released from prison January 22nd of this year, when my sentence was declared illegal and vacated. What put me in there, of course, was it was a cross-state conspiracy from Mississippi sheriff's deputies calling in a favor over to Galveston, Texas, to have me illegally arrested so that they could then come in and put me in prison to revoke my unsupervised probation. Okay, that arrest was illegal. The charge is gone over in Galveston. It was a completely bogus DWI charge. I hadn't drank in 4 or 5 years. Wouldn't give me a breathalyzer. Spent 11 months in the Galveston County Jail. And then I was extradited 2 weeks before trial to Mississippi. Robbed of a trial. Couldn't get out of jail in Galveston because Mississippi had a hold on me. And so it was quid pro quo back and forth the entire time. They were helping each other try to keep themselves out of the sling. So I got out of prison January 22nd of this year after the sentence was vacated. While I was in prison for the 6 months I was in there, my ex got the bright idea, I guess, to change child support over, even though, see, I have a residual income. I still got a little bit of a residual income that's paid directly to her. It was paid on the 15th of every month. I've got the bank statements. I've got the wire log where she was wired the $400 in child support on the 15th of every month. I've never not paid my child support. Okay? Well, about a month before I got out, she changes it. She goes to the state and switches child support over. I don't know how she did this, but she got child support enforcement to take over it. And so she was getting paid this $400 a month from me, and then clearly was getting paid the $400 from the state of Mississippi. She was double dipping. And I just, you know, the state of Mississippi attached a balance to me saying, well, the money that you paid her after it was switched over, that is a gift. I was like, how is that a gift? I was in prison. Y'all sent something maybe to address she had on file for me, but I was in prison, and it was an illegal sentence. How does this company know to stop paying her if I never received anything? And so I'm raising hell to the Mississippi Attorney General's office, to everybody, to the child support people. I'm like, look, she is double dipping. She has committed fraud. She has claimed that she didn't get this money that she clearly got. Here's the proof. Mississippi Attorney General's office didn't want to do shit. They wanted to pass the buck. They want to say, that's DHS's responsibility. We don't have jurisdiction. Bullshit. When somebody signs a false sworn affidavit in the state of Mississippi, the state attorney general does have jurisdiction. I'm not wet behind the ears. If that type of stuff and it's fraud being committed, it's, DHS may jointly have, they may be able to do something, but I'm telling you, the buck stops with the attorney general's office. So, when they didn't want to do anything, and the reason why they don't want to do anything is because me without resources is a better, it's better for their corruption. Because obviously, I'm a very resourceful person. And so they're trying to make sure that I have no resources whatsoever, because that's their only way to back me into the corner, is to try to trap me. And so I released a song called Double Dipped on that. Double Dipped, like I said, each of these songs in this album tells a unique story and means a lot to me. Look, Double Dipped, I could hear this being a club banger, okay? Check this out, this is Double Dip.
Yo, she spun the lies, wrapped tight in the court's hall. Signed affidavits under oath, watch her stumble, watch her fall. She cried wolf, played the victim, hands out, cash grab. But the records say different, I'm here to snatch that mask. Child support, bank wide send, text receipts in hand. While she's in the system, double dipping on the stand. Told the judge I was delinquent, hell no I paid. Every month on the 15th, direct deposits made. While I sat in that cell, unjustly confined. She's out forging the storylines, crossing every damn line. AG's office on the line, I told him it's a scam. Documented fraud, but they passed the buck again. I got receipts, bank statements, court petitions filed. But crowd of shady games been robbing me of my child. Double dipped, crowd played the game. Signed false claims just to stain my name. You can lie to the court, but you can't fake truth. These records right here, proof stacked, bulletproof. Double dipped, she took what she ain't due. Milked the system dry, made the debt balloon. But now the house of cards crumbles under the facts. Phyllis Crowder, you're exposed, no coming back. Court orders tossed like confetti, contempt on display. She blocked visitation, hijacked Father's Day. Claims she never filed, but the docs say she did. Swore under penalty, girl, perjury's a bid. 2018, cooked up a false rape charge, but the police flipped the script. Crowder's lies too large, warrants issued on her, false reports at play. Yet somehow I'm the one dragged in court every day. 4 years, no contact, while she fed the court lies. Told them I'm a threat, while she schemed on the side. Her lawyer's in on the hustle, ethics out the door, this ain't custody. It's a straight up legal war, I'm done biting my tongue. Now the records speak, discovery files, transcripts, this ain't for the weak. Double dipped, Crowder played the game, signed false claims just to stain my name. You can lie to the court, but you can't fake truth. These records right here, proof stacked, bulletproof. Double dipped, she took what she ain't due. Milked the system dry, made the debt balloon. But now the house of cards crumbles under the facts. Phyllis Crowder, you're exposed, no coming back. Call logs, AG calls, child support tapes. You dug your own hole with every fake claim you made. Told Young Williams you weren't getting paid, wrong. Bank wires landed monthly all along. Now I'm here on the mic, laying it bare. You weaponize the courts, but justice plays fair. Fraudulent affidavits, contemptuous acts. I'm stacking this evidence like legal combat. You see, truth's a sharp blade and it cuts through the spin. No more hiding, Crowder, your game's wearing thin. This ain't about hate, it's about setting things right. For every father denied, for every sleepless night. So here's your reckoning, delivered in rhyme. Fraud don't stand when it's cornered by time. Yo, Crowder, you gamble, thought you'd never fall. But these files, these transcripts, they tell it all. It's not just the money, it's the years you stole. It's the father-daughter bond that you broke for control. Now I'm flipping the script, reclaiming my name. This expose raps a legal hurricane. Yo, flip the page, please, file stack tall. Crowder called in claims that don't hold up at all. First a drone said I'm flying over skies, but up it he saw planes, no drone in sight. Every time she dialed, they came, they checked, negative contact. Her story wrecked, pointing up at jets, saying that's his tech. Girl, the only thing flying here is your lies on deck. 2018, dropped a bomb, false rape report, but the cops flipped back. Filed honor in court, warrant out for Crowder. False charges made, yet somehow I'm the one who's been dragged in cage. Sex tape claims, come on, get real. Cooked up fantasies, nothing to seal. You weaponize fear, turn fiction to fight, but the records expose you. Black and white, a pattern of deceit, a web you spun, but the more you weave, the closer truth comes. Sheriff's reports, court docs, every damn file stacking up against you, mile after mile. So here's the call out on this final beat. Crowder, your empire's built on deceit. Your downfall ain't coming, it's already here. Signed, sealed, delivered, crystal clear. Double dipped, and you thought no one know, but the paper trails loud like a courtroom blow. I stand relentless, I stand with proof. Crowder, your reign ends, here's the truth.
That's double dipped. And yeah, every one of these songs is full of truth. It's my story. It's what happens, what I've endured. Okay? This monster of a person falsely accused me of rape back in 2018 because she was in with the same group of people that have persecuted me. She actually admitted that it came out that, you know, she had conspired to try to, you know, get me sunk for this. And she was charged with filing a false report of rape. This was during the highlight of the Me Too movement. So, meanwhile, we have, well, my oldest daughter is now 10 years old. I haven't talked to her or seen her in 4 years. Meanwhile, child support's paid every month. I don't even know what my daughter's voice sounds like anymore. Because she is, like so many others, weaponized the child. Or weaponized by using the child. And the state has basically given her all this leeway to, you know, deny visitation, deny contact, but take my money. And it's because all along, and I've said this since the beginning, really the only way that you can twist my arm is through my kids. At this point, I'm not scared of shit, except for these people getting away with it. And what they've done time and time again is they have tried to cover one thing up with the next. It's been a constant persecution. And then I'll get denied due process and something will happen with my kids. Or my, you know, it's mainly been that one right there. To try to force my arm into submission. Well, they can't do that anymore. Not with that one. All right. And the only way that, well, the truth is coming out. You can't hide the truth. You can't hide the truth, and so, you know, it's the reckoning. It's bringing about the reckoning. Okay. So as far as that goes, I have. Let's see. Bad actors. This is called In the Shadows. And this is basically listen to the message behind the message on this one.
I've been watching from the shadows, through the lies you spun so tight. Every word you bent against me, every wrong you set in flight. You thought the system was your puppet, thought the court would never see But baby, truth, the storm you can't outrun, and it's rushing in on me. You played judge, you played executioner, you stole the years I can't reclaim. Dragged my name through mud and fire, left me shackled with the blame. But tonight the winds are changing, justice breathes its warning low. You're gonna taste the cage you built when the gavel drops its blow. And I can feel it in the shadows tonight. Oh Lord, the reckon's near, the scales turn right. I've waited for this day through hell and fight. You'll stand where I stood in that prison light, but you'll wear the chains you earned. You won't outrun the day of truth, the day you come undone. Your crowd of liars, the co-conspirators you raised, signed false papers, whisper stories, thought you'd never face the blaze. But evidence is a silent hunter, it never sleeps, it never fades. Now the wolves are at your doorstep, girl, they're howling out your name. You mocked the courtroom, mocked the truth, built your throne on broken oaths. But I've been stitching every record, every file you thought was ghost. I see the prison doors wide open, they're not waiting here for me. You and your circle dance the circle, but the sinner's crumbling free. And I can feel it in the shadows tonight. Oh Lord, the reckon's near, the scales turn right. I've waited for this day through hell and fight. You'll stand where I stood in that prison light, but you'll wear the chains you earned. You won't outrun the day of truth, the day you come undone. You weren't alone in pulling strings, no. You had the hands of men and suits, the court's cold echo. Sheriff's clerks, attorneys blind, they played your wicked game. But the reckoning ain't blind, no, it remembers every name. There's a ledger in the dark, girl, it's carved in stone. Every co-conspirator's marked, standing on their own. They thought they'd never answer, thought they'd never fall. But justice has a long reach, it's coming for them all. You can't hide behind the false smiles now. The tape, the files, the witness crowd. Every lie you signed has a cost, you see. The iron bars don't bend for plea. I carried the weight, I bore the scars, but your reckoning's coming, no matter how far. In the silence of night, you'll hear the knock. That's justice whispering at your locked doors block. And I can feel it in the shadows tonight. Oh Lord, the reckon's near, the scales turn right. I've waited for this day through hell and fight. You'll stand where I stood in that prison light, but you'll wear the chains you earned. You won't outrun the day of truth, the day you come undone. Yeah, the day of truth, the day you come undone.
Yeah, so that's I love that. I love that. The beauty about this album is that there's something for everybody on there, as far as different genres. And I think I'm actually going to go ahead and do this on this live stream. I've been kind of holding back to kind of see what happened, to kind of give them a chance, but I don't think they're going to do the right thing. I know they're not. I got a call last week, or might have been the week before. I got to look at the date. By the Department of Justice. Well, by a U.S. attorney by the name of Aaron Chuck, Southern District of Mississippi. When I got the call, I was right down the hallway from my computer, so I went there real quickly and I started the recording. I always record my calls with the government. I always record my conversations if it's in person, like video. This was a call. At the very beginning where she introduced herself, I didn't get recorded, but all the rest of it I do. And I'm going to publish this call for accountability purposes, because I've dealt with so much complicity with the FBI and the Department of Justice over the last 8 years. And in particular, I got sent to prison for a year for going to the FBI office to go and report law enforcement corruption, because Lafayette County, Mississippi had me banished from the county as part of their cover-up. And I had it arranged for me to come to Oxford to meet with an FBI agent, or at the FBI office. And from that, sheriff's deputy lied and said I didn't have permission to come into Oxford and go to the FBI office, and I didn't have the call recording because they snatched me up and I didn't have the phone had it recorded on. And I got sent to prison for a year because this sheriff's deputy intentionally lied in court and said I came in without permission. But the calls speak for themselves, and I put out an expose when I got out with the court transcript and exposure. Why hasn't the FBI come forward and said, yeah, we spoke to him and, she lied, he shouldn't have gone to prison, this is all messed up? But silence is complicity, okay? I'm not letting that happen. All this shit, enough is enough. Here's the call that I had with Aaron Chalk. Outside of the governor's mansion, I was peacefully protesting on the sidewalk. I'm a journalist. I believe wholeheartedly in the First Amendment. It must be preserved at all costs. I was exercising my rights, and a state trooper that was there at the shack got completely triggered and told me to take my sign and go across the street. I told him I was on the public sidewalk and I was perfectly fine, and he charged at me, threatening me, and I'd say came within about an arm's length of me, pushing me out into the road, which was excessive right there. But where it went from bad to worse was where I demanded a supervisor because I wanted to make an on-site complaint. And a supervisor by his last name was White, came over there, and I was explaining everything that had happened. The supervisor was more, I guess wasn't worried about his actions, and was trying to figure out a way to basically kind of make it all, my fault. But I wasn't. But once again, I mean, everything is video recorded. The state trooper that had charged at me, I guess he had put on his trooper hat and put on his gun belt, came back to the gate and told me, once again, yelled something. I can't remember what he yelled, and I said, "You're gonna get away from him." And he charged at me in the presence of his supervisor and two other troopers, and actually assaulted me this time. Swung, hit me. I blocked it with my arm. I had a gimbal with a camera. It knocked the camera off of the gimbal to the ground, and he stepped on it. The supervisor came running up and said, and told him to de-escalate, and the other troopers were telling him the same thing, to de-escalate, and I started, demanding that charges be filed on him, because I mean, a trooper can't just assault
they're supposed to have a level of um what's the word I'm looking for? They're supposed to have a certain level of I can't even my brain's not working today. But yeah, so I was demanding because it was open, it was on camera. This wasn't something that, I've been assaulted before where law enforcement said, we can't do anything because we didn't actually witness it. It didn't happen in our presence. But that couldn't be said here. This actually happened in the presence of his supervisor and two other uniformed officers. And just me saying alone that I wanted charges filed on him for that. Um, Triggered him again, and he busted through all of them like a linebacker in a football game, trying to get to me a third time. Just because I was simply saying that I wanted charges filed on the guy. Um, I I kept demanding for him to be identified. I wanted name and badge number, and they refused um to give me any identification, which I think personally falls under obstruction of justice because here I'm wanting charges filed on him and they're concealing his identity. He not only did he not identify, but his supervisor and um uh his fellow troopers concealed his identity. And I feel like, not only does that fall under, I could take this the state route, but I believe wholeheartedly that this is something that needs to be looked into by the feds. I think that this is something that falls 100% under 18 U.S. Code 242, and even quite likely 18 U.S. Code 241. I don't think the state it will take this seriously, and I think that's evident by the governor's position on everything. The governor has refused to address anything. It happened outside of his mansion. It's been a very public ordeal. The video has been picked up by some large channels. It's the Mississippi Highway Patrol secretary that I spoke with on the phone had even seen the video, and she even said herself she couldn't believe what she saw. He was 100% in the wrong. And I've called for the governor to denounce it. I've called publicly for the governor to denounce it because I think that it sends a visible message to not only the citizens of the state of Mississippi but to the nation. Because this video has not only got it's gone around the country, and there have been people in other countries that have jumped on and commented seeing it. Think that it sends a clear message that the state of Mississippi condones this type of behavior, happening to citizens that are peacefully protesting, and not only citizens that are peacefully protesting, but journalists. And I can't I can't count on the state doing the right thing in this situation because the governor is intentionally choosing to stay silent on it. And to me, silence is complicity. And it's honestly it's just as criminal in this situation.
Okay. My office, we do not investigate. We prosecute cases that are brought to us. So I forwarded your voicemail that you left with our office to the FBI, and I'll follow up and make sure that they received it. Then they go from there as far as the for an investigation. I just wanted to share that with you. That my office, we don't investigate, so I'm not in a position where I can comment one way or another.
Okay. Is there I mean, I would be happy to provide. I understand that they do the investigating, and I'll say this that I've I've had I've had numerous issues with um with getting fair treatment from the FBI. Um, and it's been in several jurisdictions, not just in the Northern District of Mississippi, not just in, out in Salt Lake City, Utah. There's been
I've I don't know why I feel like the evidence couldn't be clear, and it's like there's just a um you know they hear my name, and it's just, they immediately will not give anything a fair look. I don't have any kind of record as far as the feds go. I don't have any. I've never committed any federal crimes. I have asked that the FBI, uh, do a fair investigation into what the state of Mississippi has done over the last 8 years. And there's been a lot of, I'll tell you exactly what I feel like it happened here. I've got a book that's about to publish. It's called American Injustice, that details out 8 years of absolutely heinous public corruption that I've witnessed and has happened to me, and it's backed by evidence. It's not just things that I'm saying. I'm alleging. It's stuff that's actually backed by evidence. And what I feel like has happened here is, and this should not be the case. This should never be the case. But what happened was, it happened, like all of my story, everything that happened started with a few people on the state back in 2017. And what happened was, it was a few other people that took the backing of those people with the state to basically um, cover up and protect. And then there was one instance after another of that got exposed, and then there was something else done to cover that up, and then that got exposed, and then something was done to cover that up. And each and every time that happened, it involved more and more people to successfully cover it up. So what started with a few people on the state side has spiraled out of control to where there's been so much involvement, so many different people with the state, and even it's gotten to what I can just about 100% make the claim that there were uh, it got to a level where, there were people on the Fed side that basically, it started with just a couple, just, not many, that basically, covered and took the backing of certain people that had involvement in the state. And then before long, you have more people on the federal side that are obviously now they're backing up and taking the back of the people that should have never just automatically, backed up and covered up people with the state. And it's gotten to, I've coined it trickle down corruption. Okay. And it's where, it's something that's ballooned to where there is, and I'll tell you this, case in point. I've made 3 Office of the Inspector General complaints. And these are, there was, I got sentenced to a year in prison for going to the FBI office in Oxford, Mississippi to report law enforcement corruption. That should never happen. What happened was, Lafayette County, Mississippi actually had me banished from the county. This is all part of the numerous things that have happened. I was completely denied due process, and I had a family crisis that involving my children, that I ended up pleading out to something that I did not do, but I pled out solely to get out and to provide for my family. But part of that whole pleading out to it, I had to agree to be banished from Lafayette County. Well, I had evidence of law enforcement corruption involving Holly Springs, Mississippi Police Department, as well as Lafayette County Sheriff's Department, and I called the FBI in Oxford, and I said, "Hey, I've got evidence of this, corruption. I want to speak to somebody. I want to bring my evidence up there." And the agent told me, "We don't do appointments, we do walk-ins." And I said, "Well, it's a little bit different for me because I'm actually banished from Lafayette County, and this is one of the things that I want to talk to y'all about." And we had agreed verbally on the phone to me coming up there about an hour, hour and a half later.
I went up. So before I went up there, I called the sheriff's department and I spoke to a sheriff's deputy named Candace Beavers. And I recorded the phone call and I told her verbatim everything that I had discussed. Well, I didn't tell her what it was about, but I said that I needed to go to the FBI office and that in the next hour, hour and a half. I go up there. Nobody at the FBI came out and met with me. I sat in the lobby for, about 2 hours waiting for somebody to come out. Well, days later, I'm abruptly taken into custody by Lafayette County. They violated my probation, and actually gave me a year in prison for violating the banishment clause by going to the FBI office. This is all in court transcripts, okay? So I didn't have the call recordings with me to actually show this in court. So I served a year in prison for going to the FBI to report law enforcement corruption. I get out of prison August 1st, 2023, and I exposed the sheriff's deputy for what she did. I put the court transcript out as well as the call recordings that are lined up, and it shows verbatim that she intentionally lied to send me to prison. That got a lot of traction on YouTube, and they devised a scheme to attack me and to silence me. And what happened was 9 days after I got out of prison, August 1st, I left to go to Galveston, Texas, to go and report on law enforcement corruption down there because I had gotten tips as a journalist that they were making false arrests. They were racially profiling people. As I was going into the city limits of Galveston, Texas, 11 hours away, I'm pulled over by Galveston police and I'm arrested on a false charge of DWI. I hadn't drank in 4 or 5 years, since the end of 2018. I kept telling the officer that. He claimed that he smelled the odor of alcohol, refused to give me a breathalyzer test, took me to the hospital, and they tortured me at the hospital with a needle, with like 6 officers holding me face down on a hospital bed. I sat, i- as I was getting booked in, I heard the voice of that sheriff's deputy on the phone with the arresting officer. Okay. I sat in the jail in Galveston, Texas for 11 months. 2 weeks prior to going to trial, I was extradited to Mississippi. I was robbed of a trial in Galveston, Texas. I was extradited to Mississippi. They held a revocation hearing for me and actually sent me to prison, gave me a 2 year prison sentence based on the officer's lies. That prison sentence was vacated January 21st of this year. It was declared illegal, and I was released January 22nd. The charge in Galveston, completely dismissed. The proof came out. I was innocent, and it was a conspiracy. We actually have recorded phone calls from Lafayette County, Mississippi, actually on the phone with Galveston, Texas, the arresting officer, to arrest me. This was part of the conspiracy to silence me and put me into prison. They literally have robbed me of my life. I've lost literally everything. They sold my car at public auction. They have completely just stripped me of everything. And I have been crying out for help to the federal authorities. This evidence couldn't be any clearer. And why the feds haven't come down on these people yet is beyond me. I'll tell you another thing. Why the FBI has stayed silent, even though I've published the recorded phone calls showing where I spoke with the FBI, and basically I went to prison for that. Why they haven't come forward and said, well, that guy was actually right. He was, we did talk to him. What happened in him getting sent to prison, was wrong. Somebody should have come forward and spoken up on that. And instead, the FBI has chosen to remain silent. So yeah, I understand that you say that the FBI has got to investigate it, but why haven't they looked into anything else? Why have they been able to remain silent and be complicit in everything that's happened? This has been an all out just attack, everything but an assassination on a journalist. And honestly, I feel like that's the next thing to come because they've done every single thing that they could possibly do to me to silence me. It's I've been 5150'd as part of a cover up. I was sent to a
a state hospital. They tried to say that I was crazy whenever I claimed that records altered, court records altered, but I published the proof of that and it's on my website. And they came in and they tried to say that I was paranoid and delusional, and that I would go out in public recording. I'm a journalist, and that's a key function of my job. Uh, I've never, I've never had any kind of diagnoses, been on any kind of medication, but yet they have put me in a state hospital trying to say that I was not taking medication, not seeking medical help, going out in public places recording, paranoid and delusional, but none of that stuff applied. And, I just, these people have completely, it's very dangerous.
I'm hearing what you're saying. I cannot comment on why or what the FBI did or did not do because I have no knowledge.
But see, y'all are the prosecuting. They're the investigatory arm. Y'all are the prosecuting arm, and all I'm asking, okay, because different from the state, I can basically file a criminal affidavit with the state, and they have to, push that forward. With on the Fed side, it has to be initiated by the federal authorities, and all I'm saying is, I would like to, um, I would like to send the proof that I have, the videos that I have, and I have every reason to not be trusting of the FBI because of everything else that has happened. The fact that they've stayed silent. I Instead of relying solely on the FBI to do their job there and properly investigating that and looking at the videos, I would like to be able to send the videos to y'all because y'all have the ability to pull the trigger on prosecuting something. It doesn't solely have to come from the FBI. It has to just be a federal authority, that one of the arms. And it's really ultimately it comes down to the U.S. Attorney's Office on making the decision to prosecute. But something as plain, you know, e- easy to see as this, I would like, you know, I'm not fully trusting in the FBI doing their job and investigating this because of everything else that's happened. So can I send the the videos to someone in your office?
You can send whatever you like to my office, and I'm going to send it to the FBI.
Okay. And
You're happy to send it to my office.
all right, can I get an email?
Sure. Erin, ERIN .chalk, CHALK at USDOJ.gov.
CHALK
That's correct.
at US what?
DOJ.gov.
J dot. Okay. Yeah, and my website is WTPnews.org. And that's got honestly the stuff that I discussed with you on the phone is all there on the homepage of that website. Okay.
Yeah.
I just hope that something's done about this time because I mean this enough is
And all I can tell you is receive it, the FBI to take a look at it.
well, I mean
Handle everything.
but I know you say you can't promise anything, but I mean if it's just blatantly clear and if like
One way or another.
right, but what if I were to do the same thing to them? Because if I were to do the same thing, I would be prosecuted. And it's not fair for it to be allowed to happen to me and for me not to be allowed to do it to them. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like that's the message that
They're another prosecuting agency if you're not interested in going to the district attorney.
well, I've sent it all to the Attorney General's office. The Attorney General's office, that's why I need it to go to the feds, is because, and I need the feds to actually take a serious look at this
is because this has been full-on weaponization by the state of Mississippi at its highest levels. The Attorney General's office has been very well aware of everything that has gone on, Aaron. And they for them to do something is basically for them to admit that they've been in the wrong before. I think that the same issue is going on here with feds. I think for them to basically do anything and get involved kind of shows complicity before. But I'm not, I want y'all to know I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not trying to clamp down and basically I I want this to stop, okay? That is the number one thing. I want this to stop. And I feel like people feel like if they do get involved at this point, that it makes them automatically, in the eyes of the public, guilty for not doing anything before, okay? And that's the problem, is this is getting out of hand. It cannot this cannot be allowed and condoned. It cannot be allowed to go on any further. Sounds good. All right. Thank you, ma'am. There we go. Now that I'm on my Bluetooth, I've got to turn off this monitor. Okay. And take this thing off the middle of the screen. So what do y'all think about that? That's, I mean, that's just a piece of the craziness that's going on. I mean, it's beyond criminal. It's beyond criminal. I did I want to, I think this is going to be the easiest way to do it is to actually upload this to my library so I can get it. So when I got out of prison January 22nd of this year, and I moved up to Utah, and I'll tell you that story right there. That's it's this stuff that's happened, it deserves to be in a book, and that's why it's going to be in a book. Um, let me see. So I made a music video called "Caught Red-Handed," and it's 18 seconds left. Okay, so it's uploading right now. This music video fully exposes the Galveston conspiracy. Um, there we go. It just uploaded. All right, let me pull it up. Video, switcher cloud. Let's see. Why is it not there? Hold on. Showing the video catalog. Okay. Uh, Files. Not really sure why I'm not seeing that. Well, the only other thing I can do is take it this way. Let's see. Put it on my Google Drive and upload it directly to my phone. So I just had to factory reset my phone because it stays out of storage space see. Okay. In the meantime, let me see if I can find something else, so y'all aren't just looking at me while I'm trying to find this. Audio files. Bad actors. So yeah, this is called a warrant for a lie.
Midnight wheels rolling slow down a coastal Texas line. No drinks, no buzz, just a clear head and peace of mind. Then a bad stepped out with a smirk and a plan. Said, this one's an otter, not your average man. He ignored the law, he ignored my breath. Wrote up a script that would fake me to death. Eyes weren't glassy, words weren't slurred, but he made up a storm from things never heard. They signed a warrant for a lie, drew my blood and watched me cry. Said I smelled like booze, hell I hadn't drank in years. But the truth don't matter when the system's run by fear. They jailed me up and threw away the key, while my kids asked daddy when you coming free. It was murder of the truth in a badge and tie. They locked me down on a warrant for a lie. UTMB hands with needles like knives. Didn't show no paper, didn't care about rights. Already stood there, knew it wasn't just. But back the blue line, let me bleed in the dust. Meanwhile back east, they were ringing the phone. Mississippi snakes with a thirst for my bones. James and Beavers, Busby too. Sent lies through the wire like it was all true. They signed a warrant for a lie, drew my blood and watched me cry. Said I smelled like booze, hell I hadn't drank in years. But the truth don't matter when the system's run by fear. They jailed me up and threw away the key, while my name got dragged through Galveston Sea. They made a felony out of thin blue sky, just to silence my voice with a warrant for a lie. And the blood test said 0, the indictment said 3. But the math don't work when justice don't see. No breath test, no cause, no crime that night. Just a badge with a grudge and a vendetta to ride. Now I'm free, but the fight's still burning hot. And I'll name every bastard till justice is got. Filed my case, but truth on the line. Every false word's coming back in time. I ain't just soon, I'm exposing it all. From Galveston streets to that Mississippi hole. They tried to bury me, thought I'd break or die, but I rose from the dirt with a fire in my eyes. They signed a warrant for a lie, drew my blood and watched me cry. But I'm singing louder now, my story don't bend, and I'll fight these devils straight through to the end. Cause the truth stood up and the charges died, and I've still got my name, my grit, my pride. No man should ever be crucified by the stroke of a pen on a warrant for a lie.
Alright, I got that song right here. Alright, this is Caught Red-Handed, okay? And normally this video is made for 16 by 9 landscape. This live stream was done vertically. So this video, I could either expand it to make it tall, but if I did that, it would cut off more than half of it by, making it, blowing it up big. So I'm going to keep it the way it is. This song, this music video is on my YouTube channel. Those that are on here, not only make sure you subscribe to this channel, We the People News, but also subscribe to Patriot News Activism. That's my other channel. That was actually my original channel. It used to be called Lafayette County Audit. Changed the name to Patriot News Activism. This is caught red-handed.
Caught red-handed, their lies laid bare. These public officials thought nobody would care. A conspiracy deep, but the truth's coming through. The system's cracking, now they'll pay their due. Lies and corruption, they thought they'd control, but justice is burning, exposing their soul. They built this on deceit, but their cover is blown. Now the guilty must answer for the seeds they've sown. Down in Galveston, it started that night. Epstein and Doretti turned wrong into right. Said I was drunk, claimed the smell in the air, but no alcohol touched me, their proof wasn't there. They locked me up 11 months in a cell. Fabricated charges, a personal hell. They twisted the law, made me a pawn, but their conspiracy's unraveling, it won't last long. A growing plot, their power abused, but I'm breaking the chains, their lies are diffused. The truth's on my side and it's ready to speak, exposing their game, bringing justice to the weak. Caught red-handed, their lies laid bare. These public officials thought nobody would care. A conspiracy deep, but the truth's coming through. The system's cracking, now they'll pay their due. Lies and corruption, they thought they'd control, but justice is burning, exposing their soul. They built this on deceit, but their cover is blown. Now the guilty must answer for the seeds they've sown. Extradited from Galveston back to Lafayette. 2 weeks before trial, the lies were set. Then Ben Creekmore played his false hand, fictitious evidence in his corrupt plan. Judge Tolleson fell for the charade they showed. 2 years in prison, down a dark road. Epstein hit the stand, swore oath after oath, but his lies cracked under the weight of my growth. July 18th, they thought they'd won, but justice don't sleep, the truth has begun. Their house of cards is shaking, ready to fall. I'm standing tall, calling out them all. Caught red-handed, their lies laid bare. These public officials thought nobody would care. A conspiracy deep, but the truth's coming through. The system's cracking, now they'll pay their due. Lies and corruption, they thought they control. Sentence vacated, exposing their soul. They built it on deceit, but the cover is blown. Now the guilty must answer for the seeds they've sown. Candy Beavers, Hobie James played the dirty part. Conspired with Galveston to tear me apart. Jeff Busby sent false statements to the district attorney, and when the heat came down, it was so concerning. A snake in the grass hiding behind his crew, but the truth reveals everything they do. Their lies run deep, but justice runs deeper. Each betrayal exposed, the climb's getting steeper. They thought they'd silence me, bury my voice, but now it's my time and I've made my choice to shine a light, make sure these criminals pay. Justice is coming and it's here to stay. I lost it all, but I've still got the fight. Damn right, the truth's a weapon cutting through the night. The sentence declared unlawful, the order vacated. I'm vindicated, liberated, and of course I'm elated. Caught red-handed, their lies laid bare. These public officials thought nobody would care. A conspiracy deep, but the truth's coming through. The system's cracking, now they'll pay their due. Lies and corruption, they thought they control. Sentence vacated, exposing their soul. They built it on deceit, but their cover is blown. Now the guilty must answer for the seeds they've sown. Yeah, pour again. Damn right, the truth's a weapon cutting through the night. The sentence declared unlawful, the order vacated. I'm vindicated.
Alright, so yeah, it's that was my favorite song for the longest, and I guess it was because of the video that was behind it that actually
points out everything. So that's the thing about my story and about my adventure, is it's not just words. It's not just I'm saying this. It's I you know, they won't listen to me when I've got the evidence with it. And so that's the only thing I can come with is the evidence. It's been hell. It's been absolute hell. It's been absolute hell, and it all started. While I'm doing this, I'm trying to pull up something else. It all started with a bad arrest on the square in Oxford, Mississippi. It was a bad arrest made by a sheriff's deputy for holding the state flag of Mississippi on a public sidewalk in front of the statue in Oxford. This was the time that the statues and the flags, anything that had the Confederate flag emblem in it, came under attack. And I've pointed this out from the very beginning, that it's never been about flags or about statues. It's never been about the symbol for me. You've had people on both sides making their arguments, and then here I am, going down a completely different path. And for me, I saw this as a bigger issue about, this got down to democracy. This got down to the power of a vote must be respected in all things in society. No matter how you stand, how you feel about an issue, a vote has got to be respected. The second you have city officials that start taking it on themselves to override the voice of the people, then you're opening up that door. And when that door gets opened, it's real hard to shut it. Okay? So this was, to me, when I saw these cities and I saw universities that were removing the state flag of Mississippi from city property, from university property, but yet they were taking taxpayer funded handouts from the state. They were dipping from the state's coffers on tax dollars and taxpayer funding, but they're not honoring the vote of the taxpayers. The last time it was put to a vote, I think it was like 71% or something like that that voted in favor of the flag. I said it all along, hey, if it goes to a vote and if the overwhelming majority votes for something different, you'll never hear me complain. But so long as this is a voted in flag, it needs to be flown, or you don't need to take state funding from the taxpayers. That's basically my views won't ever change on that. That, to me, that's principle. That's common sense, because I think it's robbing the taxpayers. It's robbing them of their vote, and it's also robbing them of their tax dollars. So I will. I got just a couple more things. I'm gonna end this because I've been on this thing for a while, and I gotta get on the road. I gotta do a lot of driving, So, by the way, so I'm trying to. One thing I've tried to do from the beginning is not many people know how bad my situation truly has gotten. Everything that I've lost in this ordeal. I'm doing what I'm doing now because I have to do what I'm doing now. There's no other option. I can't just walk away from it. There is no walking away from it. It's just as dangerous. In fact, it's more dangerous to walk away from it. And then it's all in vain. And then that's not something that I can live with. So And that it's, I'm fighting for my kids' generation. Somebody's got to take a stand. Somebody's got to, there needs to be more civil disobedience in this country where people are pushing back, and there needs to be more people filing lawsuits saying enough is enough of this bullshit. We're not going to take it any longer. I'm going to put it on this because in trying to download this other little video, I don't want my phone to freeze up and um, cause any issues while I'm trying to multitask. So I'm just going to put it on this, and I'm going to get this video real quickly, and I'll be back.
Well, I roll up to Jackson outside the big house gates. Stars and stripes flying high, but ain't no pride in this state. Governor signed his name, ink lies upon a page, stamping out my rights, stoking up my rage. Governor's gone too far, crossing every line, messing with freedom, trampling rights of mine. But I'm standing strong under southern stars. Tell the world loud, governor's gone too far. Panhandling taxed, 25 a day, kicking down the homeless in a heartless play. Fake extradition, a phony fugitive's tale, lock me down unjustly, spend months inside that jail. Governor's gone too far, crossing every line, messing with freedom, trampling rights of mine. But I'm standing strong under southern stars. Tell the world loud, governor's gone too far. Politicians, puppets, left and right the same. Justice robbed blind while freedom takes the blame. But voices grow louder, echo through the land. We the people rising, gonna make a stand. Bogus warrant signed, truth been and broke. Tater Reeve is laughing, but freedom ain't no joke. But I'm here to tell him, gonna shout and sing. Won't bow to no tyrant, freedom's bell will ring. Governor's gone too far, crossing every line, messing with freedom, trampling rights of mine. But I'm standing strong under southern stars. Tell the world loud, governor's gone too far. So listen up, Reeves, your days are drawing near. Liberty shouting loud, it's time you disappear.
All right. So that's man, if y'all weren't stomping your foot to that, I was doing it the whole time here in the car. Every time I hear it, it gets me going. There's a lot of songs on this album that do that for me. But taking it the other direction on this, this is a very heartfelt, sentimental song. In fact, this is a song that I haven't listened to this song yet without tearing up, because this is, I mean, it's very personal, and it's a more recent thing that actually happened, and I guess the song speaks for itself. It's called "She Called the State."
Anna.
I came with nothing but 2 little girls, Anna Claire and McKenna Rose. My whole world hoped maybe she'd want a chance to try to be the grandma she never was. Through their eyes, her welcome within by the second night. No warmth, no grace, no flicker of light. She didn't say goodbye, just opened the door like loving a son was a civil chore. And when I said I don't know if I can survive this fall, she didn't lean in, she just made the call. She called the state on my pain, like I was a danger, not a dad in the rain. Didn't ask how the girls were sleeping, didn't wonder what soul I was keeping. She cut it short like it meant nothing, like love was weight she wasn't touching. Said nothing and dialed away, that's how she chose to keep us safe. She called the state. She never rocked them, never knew their laughs, didn't care for birthdays or their little crafts. Saw them as shadows of mistakes I made, like their lives were part of the price I paid. But I gave her the chance, one real chance, to hold what's good in a world gone mad, to help me stand as I tried to be the father I never had. When I broke, when I bled my truth, she reached for judgment, not for proof.
Do it. You need to climb up. Well, you can
She
go up
called
right
the state on my cry, like asking for help was crossing a line. Didn't see the strength in being raw, didn't care to understand it all.
How
She
you gonna get
chose
to that
fear
slide
over
going right?
faith in her own, chose silence when I was most alone. Didn't check, didn't ask, didn't wait. She just picked up the phone and called the state. Some others build bridges, some just escape. Mine built a file and sealed my fate. No goodbye, no second take, just the sound of a heart about to break. She called the state on her son and ended what barely had begun. Not with a word, not with grace, just the quiet sound of being erased. No love, no trust, no clean slate, just a whisper.
You're fixing to go to the movies.
Down the line. She
Have you ever gone to the movies?
called the state.
No? Who you going to the
She
movies
didn't
with?
save me.
Gigi, McKenna, and you?
Gigi,
She
McKenna,
called
and
the
me.
state.
I don't think I'm going.
Aw.
You're going with Gigi.
And we're gonna have ices and popcorn. Do they even sell
Oh, yeah.
ices?
So, what do y'all think about that? That's it's pretty it's definitely a tearjerker. That's for sure. Trying to get let's see. Oh, cool. That's actually working now. All right. Okay, sources panel, select. All right, so my cloud assets, video. Cool, there it is. All right. Hey, check this out. So this actually happened. This is Salt Lake. Actually, that's actually the wrong one. I meant to do this one right here. Vertical. So this was, I'll just go ahead and I'll play this right here. This right here was Yeah, so I was in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I decided I wanted to go in and audit the Department of Homeland Security Immigration Office because I have several Hispanic friends, you know, and I wanted to, and they're legal, okay? And I wanted to go in and I wanted to check out the inside of immigration. And long story short, I got trespassed. I got trespassed because the guy downstairs was a Darren, okay? I wasn't bothering anybody. I'm not one of those that goes out to provoke, okay? This right here is the outrageous scene where I actually got trespassed from immigration services, okay? They actually claim, okay, in this building, the federal government actually leased out, or there was a private citizen that worked out a contract with the U.S. government and the Mexican government, because in the same building they had the Mexican consulate. They also had immigration, okay? So check this out, okay? This is crazy.
Hey, so what was your name?
Well, you can call me Don.
Okay, what's your actual name? Because we need to identify you.
For what?
So we can give you a notification of trespass. So you're in a private building,
So I
privately
wanna-
owned building.
so I want to-
Will you let me explain this to you, please? So you're in a privately owned building.
Right.
The privately owned building owner and its management has decided that they do not want you on their private property here.
Yeah, so
We need to give you a notification of trespass.
and I want
let you know that you
I
need to
want
head
to
out.
formally put you on notice before you do this, okay? Because if it's under threat of arrest, I'll provide my ID. Other than that, I'm not providing my ID
It
because
is.
it is.
Yep. You
So-
need to provide your identification right now, and I'm telling you that standing here would be a trespass, which is a class B misdemeanor in the state of Utah.
Right, and I'm not trying to. I was actually leaving. I was on the way out, and they came in. But let me ask you this before I I've got it right here, okay? But I was up there on the 4th floor.
Okay.
There's a posted sign, the rules and regulations governing conduct on federal property. How is it that Homeland Security immigration can actually be in there, okay, and I can be trespassed from a public, because honestly, they serve the public. So this is really a very thin line that y'all are, I mean, this is a really, really touchy area.
Would you like me to explain
I'm
it to you?
going to sue over this. If you get my ID and you trespass me, I'm going to sue over this.
Would you like me to explain it to you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're right, there are federal entities upstairs.
Uh-huh.
They lease specific spaces within the building, which is privately owned. The private building owner can trespass you from these areas if you are, disrupting.
I wasn't
business
disrupting.
and anything.
It's all on camera.
Ultimately, you can get trespassed from somebody's private building for, any number of things.
So a viewpoint discrimination is what I'm hearing. This is a viewpoint discrimination because I went up there to cover, I'm a journalist covering the story.
Okay. You're doing so on private property, though. The private property owner no longer wants you on their property. So
Then why is Department of Homeland Security leasing out space in a private building where there can be a viewpoint discrimination, where the person can be barred from coming in there just because the person downstairs doesn't like them?
I couldn't tell
That
you.
doesn't make any sense.
That's like I said.
Yeah, I could.
We don't know.
So
We don't choose who leases here in private property.
All right, well, I've got several lawsuits right now pending. When I hand this over to you, I'm
Did you
following.
give that to Officer Click?
I'm giving it to you because you were the one that said under threat of arrest. Whenever I give it to you, the lawsuit will be filed.
Can you please hand me the ID?
There you go.
Awesome. There you go.
Thank you.
All right. So
Y'all heard it.
Can we move stuff out of the way again?
Another lawsuit.
People have business going on in here.
All right, so there's that right there. And then the following week, okay, I spoke out at Salt Lake City Council. And, boom. You could hear a pin drop after I gave this speech right here. And this is going to be the last. Actually, I got one other short video because I found the one about what started everything back in 2017 about the arrest on the square. Check this out.
And next will be Matthew Reardon, followed by Ricardo Mejias, and then Ian McCubbin. Matthew, you may now unmute.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the council. My name is Matthew Reardon. I am a journalist, a constitutional rights advocate. I'm here today to sound the alarm on a dangerous precedent unfolding right here in Salt Lake City. Starts at 660 South 200 East in a building where both the Mexican consulate and the Department of Homeland Security lease space to serve the public. A little over a week ago, I entered that building peacefully, camera in hand, to document a matter of public concern. I was calm, I was silent, I was doing my job. A short time later, I was confronted by an unhinged private security guard, put on speakerphone with a building manager who threatened me with jail and then trespassed by Salt Lake City police officers after being forced to show ID under threat of arrest. This happened inside a building with federal signage clearly citing the rules and regulations governing conduct on federal property. I did nothing illegal, no disruption, no disorder, just journalism. And yet I was targeted, not for what I did, but for who I am and what I represent. Accountability. That is a viewpoint discrimination. That is retaliatory policing. And that is unconstitutional. The city of Salt Lake cannot look the other way when its officers enforce private whims against protected rights, especially on federal ground. It cannot continue deputizing private building managers to silence journalists and intimidate dissent. I'm here today not just to inform you, but to warn you. A federal lawsuit is being filed, and this time there will be no backdoor deals, no quiet settlements, and no forgetting. This city will answer for what it allowed, and every person in this room will have to decide, do you stand with the Constitution or against it? My camera captured it all. The lawsuit will expose it all, and the people, your people, deserve to know the truth.
All right, well, I'm going to hand this over to you. I'm following.
Did you give that to Officer Quick?
I'm giving it to you because when you were the one that said under threat of arrest. Whenever I give it to you, the lawsuit will be filed.
Will you please hand me the ID?
There you go.
Awesome. Here you go. All right. So
Y'all heard it. Another lawsuit
will have business going on here. So we're providing you with notification right now that they don't want you back on property here.
Cool. I gave you notification of what was going to happen because of that. So.
Okay. So just so you know, police report will be generated. Happy to give you that case number if you wish. Document case number. Sounds like you got everything you need.
So I was there for probably 20 minutes, and Deputy Pruitt pulled up in front and got out of his vehicle and said, he asked me if I had a permit to be here, and I said, I have the First Amendment. You know, I am audio and video recording, Mr. Pruitt.
I don't care. You have a permit to be here.
The First Amendment, actually.
You have a permit to be here.
No. And he went on to say, you know, do you have a permit? If not, you're going to jail.
All right, you gotta leave.
Why is that?
Because you're going to jail if you don't.
I'm going to jail just for standing out here and holding the flag.
Demonstrate.
And I said, what would be the charges? Why would I be taken away from here? And he steadily threatened me with arrest.
Yeah, you have to leave.
Okay, where does that super?
Let me just.
Can I just ask you? Can I ask you a question?
I'm gonna ask you one more time to leave. If not, I'm gonna carry you to jail. Disorderly conduct.
I said, okay, I got what I needed to get on video. I'll leave.
Okay, I'll leave and take this straight to my attorney then. That's you can't threaten me with my First Amendment rights. Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, Mr. Pruitt.
And when I did that, I walked about 10 steps off and I realized I wanted to get his badge number.
Free to leave. One.
This fucking city is ass fucking backwards. Ass fucking backwards. Y'all see that?
And I asked Deputy Pruitt for his badge number, and upon asking him for his badge number, he immediately threw me into handcuffs and put me under arrest.
Hey, what's your badge number, by the way, Deputy Pruitt? No, I'm not. I'm leaving. I was asking you. I was asking you.
I was leaving. I was leaving.
What were you charged with? Disorderly conduct?
I was charged with failure to comply, disorderly conduct. They both go together.
What was your bond?
The bond was $252.25, and then $25 intake fee or whatever.
You had a gun on you?
Yes, I did.
And did you get it back?
I finally got it back. I was disarmed. This needs to be said. When I was arrested, Deputy Pruitt grabbed my cell phone right here, which was the one that I used to record, and turned it on and was trying to figure out how to get the screen unlocked, and realized that it was password protected. And once he realized it was password protected and he could not delete the video, the evidence, he tried to keep the phone. I told him this phone needed to stay with the rest of the evidence and not go separately to the jail.
So one thing I should have pointed out in that news interview with the Oxford Eagle is the fact, did you notice on the deputy's uniform, he was not wearing his badge. Right here on his chest, where it's supposed to be, there's a hole, okay? So he was out of uniform. He never had his badge on. He had taken his badge off for whatever reason and never put it back on and made that arrest. It was already a crazy, unlawful arrest, but he made it completely out of uniform, not even wearing his sheriff's badge. So, you know, it's even in the police report that the reason why he arrested me was because I asked him what his badge number was. They had to put him on administrative leave. Okay, this was going to get very bad for Lafayette County, but they figured out a way to indemnify themselves for it. People post comments all the time on that video about how large the lawsuit's going to be and it's a guarantee. You think it's a guarantee until 3 weeks later. They literally completely fabricated a felony charge that did not exist and withheld due process with the entire goal of indemnifying themselves. Like, literally, I had a corrupt attorney, and they used a bogus, completely fraudulent restraining order as another way of adding additional pressure in order to get me to plea out to something that I never did, that I can prove beyond all doubt was completely made up and fictitious. Not only did I not commit the crime, but there was never any crime that was ever committed, period. Like, by anybody. Like, it was completely made up. And they did that to get me to sign a covenant to not sue Lafayette County, the city of Oxford, any elected official, any appointed official, any law enforcement officer with Lafayette County, or the quote-unquote victim, who are the victims that magically disappeared, sold their bar, and disappeared by the time that I had gotten out of jail, pleading out at the advice of a fucking crooked-ass attorney, all right? I sold my soul to the devil. I mean, that's what I feel like that day. It's never plea out to anything that you never did. I thought, you know, the proof was overwhelming, and that hey, it's going to be easy to freaking overturn this because it's that clear that it was completely fabricated. And it's been an 8-year process. So check this out.
Let me make this absolutely clear. I am formally and unequivocally accusing Governor Tate Reeves of sanctioning the July 3rd assault against me, a journalist, outside the Mississippi governor's mansion. This was not the random act of a rogue officer. This was a calculated and deliberate message. A violent message sent by a state actor under the governor's authority. I was assaulted by a Mississippi State trooper in front of witnesses, on camera, while peacefully protesting on a public sidewalk. And in the nearly 2 weeks since, the governor has said nothing. That silence is not neutrality. It is complicity. Governor Reeves has refused to identify the trooper. He has refused to denounce the violence. He has refused to uphold even the most basic standards of decency or accountability. And I believe this is because the truth of the matter is far darker. He approved of it. He wanted it. He allowed it. The motive is clear. I was protesting his role in signing authoritarian laws, overseeing unlawful extraditions, and aiding in the cover-up of a fabricated felony DWI charge born from a cross-state conspiracy involving corrupt Lafayette County Sheriff's deputies and a Galveston police officer. I was standing outside his mansion with the receipts, documented proof that he authenticated false documents tied to my illegal extradition from Texas. And instead of addressing any of this, he sent a trooper to silence me by force. This governor had a duty to denounce that violence. He didn't. He had a duty to identify the trooper. He won't. And I believe that's because this was the outcome he intended all along. There's also reason to believe that the trooper's supervisor, identified by the last name of White, maintains a close personal or professional relationship with Governor Reeves. If that relationship exists, and if White facilitated this assault under orders or with knowledge of the governor's preferences, then this is no longer just police misconduct. It's a criminal conspiracy to violate civil rights under color of law. The governor does not have the luxury of silence. Not now. Not with these facts. Not when a journalist was assaulted for doing his job, for exercising protected rights, for daring to speak truth to power in public view. Tyrants don't always declare themselves. Sometimes they declare nothing. And Governor Reeves' silence is his declaration. He is not just complicit. He is culpable.
Yeah, all this is we the people's property. Now, inside of that gate, huh?
You go across the street with that sign and all that, okay?
Well, no, I'm fine right here.
No, you're not fine.
How am I not?
Because I said you are.
I'm on the sidewalk.
No. Yeah, one more time.
I'm on the...
Get your stuff. Hey, go the fuck across the street. You understand me?
Is it under threat of arrest?
Yeah, you're under threat of arrest. The fuck ain't around here, man.
Do you know what the First Amendment is?
I don't give a fuck what the First
What's your name? What's your name? What's your name and badge number? Tyrant? What's your name and badge number? I have a First Amendment right to be on the sidewalk. I'm on the fucking sidewalk. I'm on the fucking sidewalk. Do something about it.
Hey, man, get your shit. Go.
Hey, you're going to get away from me. You're going to get away from me. Put your hands on me.
Get the fuck on if I knock you.
Oh!
Fuck on, man.
Whoa!
Fuck on with you.
Hey,
we tell you that, move.
Let's de-escalate.
Fuck you think they gonna play with you, man?
Hey.
Fuck.
Nigga. Go back in.
That's it. I want charges placed on him. I want charges on him. I want charges on him now. I want charges on him now. I want charges on him now.
Hey.
I want charges on him now. Look.
We gonna sit your ass.
There's something seriously wrong with you.
Hey, back off.
What the fuck are you gonna do about it? What are you doing to him? He doesn't need to even be here anymore. Send his ass home. After that right there, I'm standing where I can stand at. I'm standing where I can stand at.
Do not come this way again, okay?
It's your fucking ass. Hey, I want his name and badge number. What's his name? I need name and badge numbers of all y'all. Name and badge number. Name and badge number. Name and badge number.
My supervisor just asked you to step away from
Name and badge number.
You asked for a supervisor, we gave you one.
Hey, I need a name and badge number. I need a name and badge number.
Back off.
Name and badge number.
Back off. Back off. White. Now back
White?
off. That's the color. White. Now back off.
"8 years. That's how long I've been screaming into the void, filing court pleadings, exposing lies, confronting cowards in uniform and in robes, while the people sworn to protect constitutional rights either turn their backs or join the assault. I've had my rights violated, my name dragged through the mud, my freedom stolen, my livelihood destroyed, and my words censored, all while those with the power to intervene did absolutely nothing. And now they're back at it again, this time outside the governor's mansion, where I stood alone, holding a sign on a public sidewalk, exercising my First Amendment rights. And what did I get? Assaulted by a state trooper, on camera, in front of his supervisor. No badge number, no name, no accountability. And the governor? Silent. Not a damn word. Let me say this plain. The system is not broken. It is functioning exactly as designed, to protect its own, to silence the truth, and to crush anyone who dares to expose it. You screamed "fuck your rights" at me for 8 years, with your silence, your lies, and your handcuffs. So now, fuck your privilege, fuck your narrative, fuck your comfort. You don't get to dismiss me as a conspiracy theorist. Every document I publish is real. Every video is time-stamped truth. Every statement backed by filings, transcripts, affidavits, and blood. My content is the proof. Every so-called official who had a chance to stop this and didn't, you're not just complicit, you're part of the story now. I am documenting the injustice, loudly, publicly, permanently, and to every agency, every office, every so-called official who had a chance to stop this and didn't, you're not just complicit, you're part of the story now. History won't remember your silence kindly, but it will remember me, because I never shut up. I am the watchdog you couldn't muzzle. I am the press you tried to blacklist. I am the father, the citizen, the journalist, and I'm still standing.
Mississippi troopers, NBI agents. You were supposed to be the elite. Instead, you became enforcers for the corrupt. No justice, no integrity, no names, no shame. Let's talk about it.
Yo, Mona, you a coward with a badge and a pen. Fabricated lies, then you did it all again. 2022, yeah, I remember that day. You framed me blindfolded, just walked in and said, okay, no probable cause, no facts, no proof. Just a lazy ass lie in a courtroom booth. You ain't no lieutenant, more like a pawn, controlled by a system that's broken and gone. Where you both are just dumb, take your pick, it's a toss. Either way, you dirty and I'm done with the gloss. MBI, more like man ball instantly. I see straight through your fraudulence vividly. You swore an oath, but you spit on that creed. Now the truth's on the mic and I'm watching y'all bleed. Like a badge of dishonor, name 'em, shame 'em. Lying in court while the state keep praising. Protect and serve, not protect and lie. Time to expose 'em. Trooper by MBI. Trooper by MBI. Trooper by MBI. Badge of dishonor, name 'em, shame 'em. Lying in court while the state keep praising. Protect and serve, not protect and lie. Time to expose 'em. Trooper by MBI. Trooper by MBI. Dixon, you a liar, you know it's a fact. Lafayette bred thug in a state trooper's hat. Caught me on camera, assaulted me bold, then lied under oath while the courtroom cold. The judge looked on like it's all routine, like beating up a journalist ain't obscene. But I had that audio proof in my hand. You thought you skate free like the Ku Klux Klan. You moved on up to the NBA ranks, same coward in uniform, just changed your tanks. A badge don't redeem you, just sharpens the sin. You still a thug in the shell of a man within. You ain't fit to serve, you ain't earned that gear. So I'm dropping this verse like a brick of fear. Your name etched in shame and the truth I trust, and your oath ain't worth the grime in my dust. Ala badge of dishonor, name 'em, shame 'em. Lying in court while the state keep praising. Protect and serve, not protect and lie. Time to expose them. Trooper by MBI. Trooper by MBI. Trooper by MBI. Ala badge of dishonor, name 'em, shame 'em. Lying in court while the state keep praising. Protect and serve, not protect and lie. Time to expose them. Trooper by MBI. Now let's talk about the thug in disguise. Beat me down on the sidewalk right before my eyes. Outside Reed's mansion with the cameras rolling. You crack me in silence like your soul's been stolen. Unidentified, that's the game y'all play. No name, no badge, no price to pay. But I'm the press and I don't go quiet. You started a war, now I'm leading the riot. Governor complicit, Tyndale gon' ghost. Covering for cowards like you coast to coast. Y'all got one law for them and one for us. But your empire's built on betrayal and dust. This ain't just rap, it's a call to action. Expose every lie, every crooked faction. That badge is burning with every bar. I'm the voice of the people and I'm raising the scar. And the badge of dishonor, name 'em, shame 'em. Lying in court while the state keep praising. Protect and serve, not protect and lie. Truth gon' march, corrupt gon' die. And the badge of dishonor, name 'em, shame 'em. Lying in court while the state keep praising. Protect and serve, not protect and lie. Truth gon' march, corrupt gon' die. Sean Tyndale, you let the trash take the wheel. Joey Marney, Courtney Dixon, and a faceless trooper. Not forgotten, not forgiven. We the people see you, and we're not backing down. And we're not backing down. And we're not backing down. Trooper by MBI. Trooper by MBI.
All right, I'm going to end it with that. This thing's gone on long enough. I put out the call with the U.S. attorney that called actually a little over a week ago. I'm going to probably put that out as its own separate video tomorrow. All right. Well, y'all got plenty of stuff tonight from me on this live stream. Thanks for tuning in, the real ones. And yep, I'm getting out of here. Y'all take care. Have a good night.